Let's look at option Greeks. The Greeks are one of the reasons why people get a little bit scared of options, because it seems a little bit too mathematical, so to speak, but really it's not as bad as it looks. All you need is a little bit of practice, and I'll give you more than enough of it as time goes by. So here we go. The option has got many Greeks, and the first of the lot that we are going to look at is called delta, right? So delta is the rate of change in the price of the option compared with a $1 change in the underlying stock. In other words, it is the speed at which the price of the option will change. Some of the other properties is that call options that you buy, okay, not necessarily the ones that you sell. Whatever call options you buy will always have a positive delta. Put options that you own or buy will always have a negative delta. Now delta is always denoted as a percentage. So we always say that the delta of an ATM option is 50%. So a option that is at the money will always be 50. In the case of calls, it'll be plus 50. In the case of puts, it'll be minus 50. Let's have a look at what options really are. Let's look at Apple this time. Everybody loves Apple. So the current price is $95.10. As you can see, the July 95 call option has a delta of 0.51 or 51%. Now this is at the money call, right? If it was exactly at $95, if the price of Apple was exactly 95, then this delta would have been exactly 0.50. But this is as close, 95.10 cents is as close to 95 as we will get on this particular day. So we will consider this an ATM or call option and has a delta of 0.51, and you will notice that all out of the money calls have a delta which is less than 0.51. The ones that are not in this shaded gray area down below are less. See, 95.5 is only 47%. 96 is only 43. And of course the opposite is true for puts. Let's look at the next Greek, which is gamma. The gamma is the delta of the delta, or the speed at which the delta will move. Positive gamma is helpful if you own calls and the stock moves up. Positive gamma is helpful if you own puts and the stock moves down. Again, don't stress out too much right now if you don't really understand any of this too much. Just understand that all options have certain properties called Greeks. We will learn later how to use them very well. Now let's look at the third Greek, which is called theta. Theta is the time decay of options. Now, remember we talked earlier about the fact that all options expire. So for example, the Apple call that we just saw, in this particular case, is going to expire in the next 25 days. Which means that over the next 25 days, this value of $2.21 for the call will either go to zero or it will move up, but on the day of expiration, it will just stop trading. As far as we are concerned, we have to remember one thing. Whenever you buy a call and a put, your theta will always be negative. In other words, you own something which is depreciating every single day, and eventually it will be worthless. If you sell calls and puts, then your theta will be positive and you actually will make money, a little bit of money every day until expiration, provided the call or the put remains out of the money in either case. Again, as I said before, if it doesn't make too much sense right now, don't worry too much. We will get to all of these as time goes by. Next is Vega. Now, the Vega is actually based on the volatility of the underlying, and is the amount the call or the put prices will change for a corresponding 1 point change in the implied vol. Now implied vol is something that we will look at later, and it is something that only options have. Nothing else has implied vols. Now in this case, let's see what happens if we were to buy calls and puts. If you buy calls and puts, your vega will always be positive. If you sell calls or puts or both, then your vega will be negative. Let's look at an example here. So for example, as you can see, this is once again Apple. The price is 95.10. Here we are looking at the August 2016 option, 60 days to expiration, and our 95 call has all these different, see, this is the delta, the gamma, starting from here, delta, gamma, theta, and vega. And as you can see, the delta is 0.51, the gamma is plus 0.04, our theta is minus 0.03, and our vega is plus 0.15. How we actually use this, we will look in the next session called the intermediate course of option training. That's where we are going to look at all the vegas, all the Greeks. We are going to look at what is called spreads, and we are going to look at how to combine things together to create positions in our portfolio. So let's go there now.